United, will they have time for the counter? And the answer to that is provided by the referee's whistle. But a very satisfactory first half for Manchester United. Ella Toone giving them the lead. Christen Press doubling that with a lovely header inside the penalty area. And Jess Sigsworth giving them the third goal. And at half-time, Jenna Scalacci, Manchester United already very well set for the 3 points.
A really professional first half display from Man United. I think they've been organised, they've attacked in numbers, they've been really clinical in front of goal. I think Press and Hansen have just been an absolute handful for Tottenham.
So half-time at Lee Sports Village in the Women's Super League. Manchester United, as things stand, moving up to third in the table, that final champion. Well, Jenna, we were praising the first 9 minutes from Tottenham, but with a player of the quality of Ella Toone, she can always spring something on you, and it all unravelled for Tottenham from that point.
Yeah, really disappointing, especially after the bright start that Tottenham have had. Here you just see Christen Press has tucked into the pocket to receive the ball. Some great work here from Kirsty Hansen, just driving to the byline. Lovely cut back, and Ella Toone just free in the area, and she's not going to miss from there. It was a lovely strike into the bottom corner, but I think Tottenham would be really disappointed that she's received the ball there with nobody marking her.
So Toone in the right place at the right time, and then a quality conversion from Christen Press.
Yeah, Spurs just very slow to clear their lines there. Toone's got a great delivery in, and Press has just guided it in again, unmarked, and a lovely finish from Press.
So Manchester United taking charge, and it got even better. Jess Sigsworth getting in on the action.
Yeah, again you see Press dropping in, starting the move, almost identical in terms of Hansen just driving at Neville, ball into the area. Great movement from the Man United, four Man United players in there, and a little ricochet of Harrop, and she's buried it in the net. It was a good strike from Sigsworth, a block from Sadorsey, but I think the power was just seeing that one through into the net.
So Manchester United in complete control at half-time against Tottenham. 3-0 they lead. In case you missed it yesterday, there was a huge bottom-of-the-table clash between Aston Villa and Bristol City. Both teams vying, of course, to avoid relegation from the WSL, making this tie crucial to each side's survival hopes. Your commentator is Adam Inker.
Now the Dane, Stina Larsson. Does well here to drive forward. Nice centre-forward play. Ball lifted to the back of the box. Hales there, draws a top save from Sophie Bagley, but it creeps in. It's an own goal, and having started the stronger of the two sides, Bristol City concedes. An unfortunate own goal. Deep up to the edge of the box, work to do for Bristol City's defence. Not in a way as far as Endow here on the right-hand side. Back in towards McLaughlin, hangs the ball into the penalty area. Big chance for Aston Villa for a second goal in this game. Now a chance for Ebony Salmon to run. She'll run at Endow in the central area, curling shot towards the top corner, where you can see what she was trying there. Work to do here for Sargent, who heads away only as far as Larsson. Larsson with some lovely skill and a driving run, a forceful run into the area. And in the end, the City defence has to put safety first and turn away for yet another Aston Villa corner. Iwabuchi back towards Anita Asante, and now Endow. Deep ball, a couple of Villa players at the back post there, and it's a chance for a big header and a big goal. A vital finish, and what a move and what a header. It's Natalie Haig who gets there for a precious second goal for Aston Villa. Hale on to Iwabuchi now. Iwabuchi heads forward towards Hales. Might open up here, and if she can spot Larson, which she can, it could be an opening. Well, it's a big chance for a third. Pike, who's in the way. Arthur wins it back. On towards Ale now. Hales. Iwabuchi. Thought about the shot. Lays off to Gregory. Gregory might shoot. Does shoot. Brilliant stop, Bagley. Iwabuchi, nice touch. On towards Hales. Hales on the spin. Fed into midfield. Arthur with a drive. Up towards the top corner. Clatters the crossbar. Ball comes into the penalty area. Some questions to answer here. And it's the substitute who has just come onto the field. Faye Bryson, her first touch of the game. And what a moment from her, sending the ball up into the top corner. A lifeline for Bristol City. Now work to do at the other end for Aston Villa. Salmon being wrestled from behind by Endow, and it had to be a free kick. Bristol City send in a good-looking ball, and it's crept in, has it? Well, would you believe this? There is late drama in this game. It's heartbreak for Aston Villa. It finishes here. Aston Villa 2, Bristol City 2.
Encouraging we got the 2, could have been more, should have been more, and we know defensively that we are a team who can keep clean sheets and be resilient, so it bodes well moving forward into the Birmingham game now.
The big thing for me was just to see that we had the belief in ourselves that we could get back into the game, and you know, virtually with the last kick we get the equaliser, so being in a position we was in at half time, we would have took a point 100%.
So a thrilling match between Aston Villa and Bristol City yesterday. The former Tottenham captain Jenna Scalacci alongside me. And Jenna, this relegation fight, just one side goes down from the WSL. Just 1 point separates Bristol City and Aston Villa, who are on 12 points, and Birmingham City and West Ham, who are on 13 points. It's a remarkably tight race at the bottom.
It's so tight there and so competitive, and I think that's what every fan of the WSL, neutral anyway, would want. But yeah, as you say, so tight at the bottom, and yesterday, what a game, and an incredible comeback from Bristol City. I think Villa will be kicking themselves. I think the defending for the last minute goal, questionable, but you know, what a game for the neutral yesterday.
Well, they've still got a game in hand over Bristol City. Villa, Birmingham and West Ham have 2 games in hand, and those could prove crucial. Plenty more sport to come on the BBC over the next week, including this.
Welcome back to MOTDX.
There you go.
Oh. Let's go on.
All right. What's wrong with me?
It's a good little game, this.
I love this game.
Don't know, Match of the Day X, AJ Tracy.
So you can catch Match of the Day Top 10 on BBC iPlayer. That is streaming now. On BBC Two, we have the Snooker World Championship highlights tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Plenty for you on BBC Sounds as well. You can listen to commentary of Leicester City against Crystal Palace. That's tomorrow from 8 o'clock. And catch all the highlights of the action in the WSL on the Women's Football Show next Sunday at 11:30 p.m. And the Women's Football Show is later tonight on BBC One at 11:30, featuring highlights of all our matches. That is presented by Ailey Barber, alongside former Manchester United goalkeeper Sio Chamberlain, who join us pitchside now.
Thanks very much, Vicky. Yeah, really entertaining first half of football. Here's Siobhan in the beautiful sunshine at Leave Sports Village.
Beautiful sunshine, but I think we're currently getting attacked by these sprinklers.
We've picked a brilliant place to stand, but really entertaining stuff. Manchester United thoroughly dominant.
They have been. It started off completely end-to-end. Spurs put a lot of pressure on Manchester United, but they held their ground for that shaky first 5 minutes, and they've been dominant. They've created some fantastic chances and been very clinical in front of goal, and I don't think Becky Spencer could be held account for too many of those goals that have gone in.
Yeah, and I know you've been particularly impressed with the job Kristen Press has done today.
Yeah, she's been fantastic. The way she's dropped deep to come and get involved, to allow Ella Toon, to allow Jess Sigsworth, Kirsty Hansen to get a bit more in advance and to join in. The Spurs defence don't know how to handle her. They don't know whether to step out with her or to drop off and just say, we need to hold our line. I think they'll come out maybe a little bit more structured. They'll understand the movement that Kristen Press is making, but at the moment she's making it very, very difficult for them.
Yeah, and it's exactly what Casey Stoney wants to see, because they are in this race for third place. It's not in their hands. All they can do is win games and hope that something may fall into their favour in terms of Arsenal over the course of these last few games. But when you look at the players that Casey has had unavailable at certain times across the season, we've got a few back on the bench and Leah Galton as well today. Where could Man United be, and is a fight for third a true reflection of where they are as a club?
I think so. I think you look at the players that they've had missing. You look at Kristen Press, obviously missed a bit at the start of the season. She was injured, but she's come back in. She's been phenomenal now. You've got Tobin Heath, Alessia Russo, Leah Galton, Lauren James, who hasn't played much this season. All of these players are players that would make a massive impact for Manchester United, and they've done well without them. But yeah, like you said, if they'd have been here throughout the whole year, who knows how high they could be finishing. They'd be wanting to challenge right at the top.
Yeah, and they may well look to do that next season. But in terms of that race for third, do you see any slip-ups for Arsenal? I know you'd love your former club here to be right in the mix for Champions League football.
It would be great for Manchester United to get that Champions League place, and they'll be really disappointed, especially how good their start was, if they don't make it. But you're right, I can't see Arsenal slipping up from now. They've got a fantastic squad. They're on form. They're scoring so many goals and keeping clean sheets, and it's going to be a tough ask for anyone to beat them at the moment in this final couple of games.
Yeah, well, it is Brighton that Arsenal do have next today. The highlights of that will be on the Women's Football Show tonight. Lots to play for at that end of the table, but at the bottom end of the table as well, there is still a lot to be decided, and there will be one unfortunate team who will be bottom of the table. But a couple of clubs today, Birmingham City, one of them, who could potentially get themselves away from that.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game for them against Reading. I think Reading are a team that have got that kind of resilience. They're an excellent side at picking up results when they need to. So it'll be a really tough game for Birmingham. But as a former Bristol player, it was great to see them grab that 95th minute dramatic equaliser in yesterday's game, and keeps it very, very tight at the bottom.
Yeah, it certainly does. Lots of drama to come on the Women's Football Show tonight. But just something that the WSL are being part of is the social media blackout that has been announced pretty much throughout the football tiers in England. Something that Casey Stoney's had to deal with in terms of Lauren James receiving some messages on social media. What needs to be done to try and solve this problem that we are seeing across football?
I think something like the blackout is great to be able to make a stand and show that everybody is committed to it. Everybody is on the same page. But something more needs to come from it. What happens next? What happens afterwards? It can't just be a token gesture of we're going to not use social media for a few days. It needs to have a substantial effect moving forwards. So it's kind of, there's a responsibility of the social media channels, of the likes of Twitter and Facebook, to say, we're gonna move on from here. We're gonna put procedures in place. We're gonna develop it so that this is eradicated from the game and from life.
Yeah, certainly something needs to be done. Well, the players back out behind us, Manchester United are anyway. So let's get back to our commentary team, Jenna Scalacci, alongside Vicky Sparks.
So Manchester United excellently poised to move third in the Women's Super League this afternoon, ahead of Arsenal's match against Brighton later. They lead Tottenham Hotspur by 3-0 at Leigh Sports Village at half-time. The former Tottenham captain Jenna Scalacci alongside me. And no fans again in the stadium today, Jenna, but I'm sure those Manchester United fans watching on at home will be absolutely delighted with what they've seen so far. And it is so important. Yes, Arsenal still have this game in hand. As things stand, Manchester United moving 3 points clear of Arsenal, who play, as we say, later today against Brighton. At the close of play today, Arsenal will still have that game in hand. But it's so important for Manchester United. All they can do is to keep on winning, putting that pressure on Arsenal and hoping for a slip-up.
Of course, they just need to concentrate on themselves, and they've done exactly that in the first half of a really dominant first half performance. They've been clinical in front of goal. They've created a lot of chances, and you know that's all they can do. There's no point relying on what Arsenal can do. They just need to concentrate on themselves, and they've done exactly that.
And I wanted to get your thoughts, Jenna, as well, on the announced social media boycott that essentially all of English football is going to take part in next week. Premier League clubs, EFL clubs, Women's Super League clubs joining this 4-day boycott of social media platforms in an effort to combat abuse and discrimination. As a former player, what do you make of this step being taken, and what do you hope that it can achieve?
I think if everybody does it together, I think we've seen this week, if people work together, the people have power, and I think big football is a massive influence in this world. So if the whole of football steps up and takes action, they have to do something about it. These big platforms have to acknowledge and change, make changes so that the same problems aren't reoccurring week in, week out. I think if we do it together, if people, players, clubs, everyone involved in the game, and people follow that, I think they have to stand up and take note and make changes.
What's been your experience of social media as a player, and perhaps players that you've played with as well?
I've had, you know, social media is great in terms of interaction with the fans and getting yourself out there and connecting with the fans, but I've also seen the downside of social media with an ex-teammate, and it's horrendous. It can ruin your people's lives and their mental health. So as well, for all the good that can come, like everything, I think the bad outweighs the good from social media at the moment.
And in the end, there's only so much that football can do. Yes, it can take a stand, but it cannot eradicate this problem by itself. It has to see other platforms, other companies, other organisations and society as a whole stepping up to get rid of this discrimination.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, if you're getting clubs around the world who have millions and millions of followers boycott these kind of media platforms, then that's going to have a lot more impact on just one player coming off. You know, it needs to be done together, and it needs to be taken seriously.
Well, Lauren James, unfortunately, is one player who has suffered racial abuse on social media in the past. And we hope that this action that the clubs across England are taking next week to boycott social media platforms for 4 days, to call essentially on those platforms to do more to combat discrimination, will have the desired impact. There is quite simply no room for racism in our game and in society as a whole. So it looks as though we may see some changes at half-time. If you were back in that Tottenham dressing room, Jenna Schillaci, what would you be saying to your players at the break?
Need to shore up the defence. I think get hold of Kristen Press, Hansen. Like Siobhan said, at the moment, Press is dropping in free every time she drops in to collect the ball, and every time she's on the ball, she's making things happen. Also, I think we need to get a lot more balls into our top three. I think they're being starved of any distribution at the moment. They can't do anything. They can't get on the ball. So, you know, we've got such attacking threat up top. We just need to get the balls into them quicker.
So that change at half-time for Tottenham. Rosella Ayan is on for Cho So-hyun. And an attacking change there for Tottenham, Jenna.
Yeah, I think maybe they're looking at the game plan. Ayan has got a lot of pace, will run, her work rate is incredible. Maybe they're going to start look to bypass that midfield area and just direct to Ayan over the top. She'll latch onto anything.
Well, she does have 2 goals this season, Rosella Ayan. She had a very prolific spell in Cyprus a couple of seasons ago. Has struggled to replicate that form in England.